Okay. So last class we have discussed about the angle modulus noise effect in SSPAC, DSPAC, as well as we have considered for AM also. Now today we are going to discuss about angle modulation. Okay, angle modulation. So effect of noise, what will happen to my angle modulated signal. Now angle modulation means again we have to consider for FM, again we have to consider for phase modulation signal. For that again we have to use that noise calculation model for at a receiver end, because whatever the thing we are going to identify is input signal power, input noise power, output signal power, output noise power. After determination of this, you need to calculate signal to noise ratio at the input, signal to noise ratio at the output, and what will be my figure of merit. So figure of merit is output SNR divided by input SNR. One more important factor, that is called noise figure. Noise figure. Sometimes question will be asked with respect to figure of merit, sometimes it will be asked in terms of noise figure. Noise figure is also called as NF. As it is F1 means figure of merit, noise figure is NF, that is 1 by FOM, which is input SNR divided by output SNR. You can calculate for noise figure for AM signal, for DSPAC signal, for SSPAC signal, okay, whatever we have identified with respect to figure of merit, just take a 1 by FOM, you will get your noise figure. So these are the fundamental components for each and every modulation technique through which we can measure the effect of noise. Okay. For that again we have to consider for a certain assumption. For a noise calculation model. So noise calculation model or noise calculation model we can represent with a block diagram. This is a received signal added with noise component. Okay, here it is a modulated signal which I am receiving. Either it can be a AM signal or angle modulation. Now we are discussing about angle modulation. So I am not writing anything. I will write later on modulated signal. Then it will enter to a band pass filter. Okay, and then the demodulator process. Then the demodulator, whether it is an envelope demodulator or synchronous demodulator, followed by an LPF, and then output we are generating. So this part is called as demodulation. Okay, demodulation. Now here I have written demodulator. Either you can go for envelope detector or you can go for synchronous detector if you are dealing with your AM. But when we are dealing with our angle modulation, if FM signal or PM signal is transmitted directly, it is not possible to extract modulating signal. First you have to convert your modulated signal which you have received into an AM signal, and then AM signal is converted into a modulating signal. That is a two-step process. AM demodulation is a single-step process, but FM demodulation is a two-step process. First, the frequency variation component you need to convert into the amplitude variation component, and then from the amplitude variation component you need to extract the modulating signal. Okay, so this is the basic block diagram what we have discussed in the last class. This is called the receiver. Okay, now the same block diagram can be analyzed for the detection of FM signal. How? Let's see. So here I will write noise effect on angle modulated signal. Angle modulated signal. So for that, certain assumption we have to take that S of t is equals to AC cos omega ct plus phi of t. Done. So this is the general equation for your angle modulated signal. Now this phi of t will decide whether it is a phase modulated signal or it is a frequency modulated signal. Now if this phi of t is kp into m of t, that means it is called as for phase modulation. Okay, what is kp? Kp is called as a phase sensitivity multiplied with your modulating signal, which is present in your modulator. Second, kf integration of m of t into dt. Now this is for FM signal. Now if you substitute this value here, you will get your PM equation and FM equation. So let us write once again. So what is PM equation? So S suffix Vm of t is equals to AC cos omega ct plus kp into m of t. So this is the general expression for your PM. Similarly, what is the general expression for FM? S suffix FM of t AC cos omega ct plus kf into m of t into dt. So this is the integration. So this is your PM equation, this is your FM equation. So this is my general expression for your angle modulated signal. Now I need to analyze all these things with respect to this model, because I need to analyze the effect of noise on this analog modulated or angle modulated signal. Okay. So step by step we will proceed. We will see how this thing will be rectified and how it can be analyzed and all. Okay. So let me erase it first. Now, when we are extracting the modulating signal from our angle modulated signal, we have seen the demodulation of an FM. We are using the discriminator, phase discriminator as well as frequency discriminator. Those are the two things which will extract your modulating signal from your AM signal. Because you need to convert the FM into AM and then AM into modulating signal. So according to that, you have to draw our noise calculation model. So this is noise, that is N of t. This is S of t, that is angle modulated signal. I am not writing whether it is an FM or PM. I will write angle modulated signal because my consideration is this. Then depend upon the phi value, you need to select whether it is phase modulation or frequency modulation. Next, it will enter to a band pass filter at a receiver end. Then it will enter to the limiter circuit, and then it will enter to the discriminator. Discriminator. It is a discriminator circuit, and then it will enter to the low pass filter, and then you can determine the outputs. So, from this particular part to this particular part, I can say this is called demodulation technique. Okay, and then from this band pass filter to this particular end, I will write it is called a receiver. Okay, and in this after this band pass filter, we are getting SF of t and NF of t. Okay, as we have seen in our previous model, SF of f and NF of f. This is the band available or the signal passed through the band pass filter whose band limited will be identified. Okay, next. Now here one more signal I will write, that is G of t is equals to SF of t plus NF of t. Okay, at this before the limiter. This is the combined signal provided to the limiter. Now, why I have represented this holder, why this limiter and discriminator is available? The thing is, when we are receiving angle modulated signal, okay, angle modulated signal, there is no amplitude variation. Amplitude is AC we are receiving, but noise will added to this amplitude. So if the noise is added to this amplitude, it may not be same as AC. It will change. Sometimes it will change and sometimes it will reduce depending upon the effect of noise, additive noise. Now the band limited signal, this received signal, combined signal is passed to the band pass filter identifying a certain bandwidth. Okay. Then output will be SF of f and NF of f. It is the filtered output. Okay. And now this limiter is available in order to limit a particular amplitude, in order to fix the amplitude, because I need to extract the modulating signal. If there is a variation in my received signal, I cannot extract the modulating signal with the variation of this phase. I need to track it. Okay. So limiter circuit is available. It will limit the amplitude. Then it will enter to the discriminator. This discriminator plays a vital role. This discriminator, what he will do? He will convert the frequency variation into the amplitude variation. Once this frequency variation is converted into amplitude variation, followed by an envelope detector, you can extract your modulating signal. That we have seen in our frequency discriminator circuit for demodulation of FM signal. So same discriminator circuit is available. Next, low pass filter, only to extract the modulating signal, suppressing the DC component if it is available, suppressing, only extract the modulating signal. So that is the purpose of LP. Okay. So here we will get Y of t and N naught of t. Done. So what are the assumptions? Assumption is S of t. If I of t is Kp into M of t, that is phase modulation. If it is Kf into integration of M of t into Dt, it is frequency modulation. Okay. Need to analyze it. Receive the angle modulated signal, add the noise, provide to your receiver in which band pass filter is there, followed by limiter, discriminator, then low pass filter. We need to analyze each and every step with a mathematical relation, so that input signal power, input noise power, output signal power, output noise power can be extracted. Okay. So step by step we will see. So first, let me identify input signal to the demodulator. Means here, this is the demodulator. So what will be the input signal power? What will be the input noise power? First let me calculate. Input to demodulator. So here we are providing both signal and noise. So Si is equals to, what is Si? Si is nothing but our received modulated signal. That is equals to Sf square of whole bar is equals to AC square into cos square omega c plus phi of t whole bar. Now this is the amplitude. There is no variation in amplitude. So what is the power content in your angle modulated signal? The power content in the angle modulated signal is same as the power content in your carrier signal. So here I will write directly, it is AC square by 2. So my input signal power is AC square by 2. Then it is the input signal. Input signal. Now I need to calculate input noise power. Input noise power remain as it is. Okay. Why? Because the noise spectrum or spectral density is eta naught, and we have multiplied that one with a certain bandwidth. We will get eta into B. That is the bandwidth of a noise or noise power we can say. So here I will write input noise power. One thing you remember, whether you are analyzing amplitude modulation, DSPSC or SSPSC or this angle modulation, your noise input power will be remain same, that is eta into P. So NI is equals to eta into B. B is the bandwidth. Okay. So let us consider this is PR. So our signal to noise ratio at the input I can write PR divided by eta into B. So I have got my input signal to noise ratio. Then now I need to calculate the output signal to noise ratio. Okay. So here input signal to noise ratio, you can write it is AC square 2 eta into B. Either you can represent this form, either you can represent this form. Now there are two steps are available. One is limiter, one is discriminator. Now in this limiter, we are providing the combined signal S of f plus N of t. I need to extract the amplitude variation so that the modulating signal can be extracted. For that, certain relations are available. Let us go through it once again. Here, let G of t is equals to Sf of t plus Nf of t. Now what is my Sf of t? Sf of t is AC cos omega ct plus phi of t, because this is the input to the filter, so that is Sf of t plus Nf of t is what? Nf of t is Nc of t cos omega ct minus Ns of t sin omega ct. So this is my noise component, two segments, the upper side or lower segment. So this is the noise component, so that will be remain constant for a SSPSC, DSPSC, AM or as well as your FM or angle modulation. Now second thing what you have to do, you have to identify the effect of phi. Let us consider there is phi effect is not there. Let us consider it is only the angle modulation. Angle modulation with respect to, for noise analysis, you can suppress this phi of t. Okay? Because this phi of t is very negligible. We need to extract the information first. So, if I am neglecting for analysis of noise, this phi of t I can take as 0. There is no phase dispersion for analysis of noise. Then I can write G of t above equation AC NC of t whole into cos omega ct minus Ns of t sin omega ct. Okay. Now I need to represent this one in terms of magnitude and certain angle. So let us consider this is R of t cos of omega ct plus theta of t. Then now what is this r of t? R of t is AC plus NC of t whole square plus ns square of t. Okay, so this is the magnitude part. And what is this theta t? Theta of t is equals to ns of t divided by AC NC of t. Done. Now why I am identifying all these things? Because I am identifying all these things in order to extract the information, in order to suppress the effect of noise. So here you can see that we have identified, because there is a limiter and discriminator is available. This limiter means amplitude limiter. Which limit? Amplitude. So that limitation will be R of t. By neglecting the phi of t is 0, it will focus on R of t. So this will be my magnitude which is provided to the limiter. Okay. Then this discriminator will come into picture. And this discriminator will convert the frequency variation to the amplitude variation. And it will focus on this angle, theta, because it consists of noise as well as it consists of the carrier component which carries your information. And that is to be amplitude limiter will be R of t. Done. Now once these things are known, next we have to proceed with respect to R of t and theta of t, from which the data can be identified and the output signal to noise ratio can also be calculated. So let's see one by one. So the limiter will suppress any amplitude variation. What I have told you, amplitude variation of G of t means that is R of t. It will limit your amplitude up to R of t and it will suppress the variation, and thus the angle modulation SNR is derived as follows, and it will be angle modulation SNR will be derived from theta of t, because angle is theta, and depend upon this theta your signal to noise ratio is going to be calculated. So what is theta of t? Theta of t is tan inverse of ns of t divided by AC plus NC of t. Here I have written directly. Why? Because as we know that theta of t is equivalent to theta of t if theta of t is very small, small. So that I have written directly there. The theta of t is equal to this one. So here I can write theta of t is equivalent to ns of t plus AC NC of t. So with the help of this relation, I will calculate output signal to noise ratio. Now let us consider the case for high input SNR. Let us consider this case first. High input SNR means what we have got, Sn plus I. Okay, that is how much? AC square divided by 2 eta into t, or you can write PR divided by eta into t. If this value is very greater, that means your AC value is very greater than your noise component, then how we will analyze the output signal to noise ratio. So AC is very greater than magnitude of NC of T, as well as AC is also very greater than NS of T. Done. Then if AC is very greater than with respect to NC of T, you can neglect this NC. Here you can directly write theta of T is equals to NS of T divided by AC. Then where R of T, the magnitude here. Now since AC is very greater than NC, you can neglect NC, you will get AC square. Then again AC square is very greater than NS square of T, you will get again AC. So it is AC. Okay. So this is your limiter output. Means it remains constant. The working principle of the limiter is to, if there is any sort of variation in the amplitude, it will fix it to a certain amplitude. And here we have fixed that AC. By considering what? By considering the input signal to noise ratio is very high. Very high means AC square is very greater than the noise component. So here you can see AC is greater than NC of T and AC is very greater than NS of T, which is the 90° phase shift of NC of T, as we have written in our expressions. Then theta of T, here we are determining theta of T because our output signal to noise ratio depends upon this value. So AC is very greater than NC of T, you can neglect the effect of NC. So it is only carrier. Then similarly R of T, you can neglect these two components, only AC component will be there, so it is limited. So output of the limiter will have the fixed amplitude, that is AC. If there is a variation, it will limit it. Done. Now next, how to determine the output signal to noise? Amplitude was fixed, angle is also fixed. Okay. So output of limiter is how much? Now let us consider this value is alpha, constant value. AC is a constant value. So output of limiter is G of T is equals to alpha into cos of omega Ct plus theta of T we have written because it is R of T into cos of omega Ct into theta we have written. Now what is this R of T? R of T is alpha we have considered. Then cos of omega Ct. What is theta of T? Theta of T, here we have considered that it is suppressing this value. So theta of T is Ns of T divided by AC. Done. So this is the output of the limiter. Amplitude got fixed and angle is also fixed. That is Ns of T divided by AC. Now this will be my input to the discriminator. Now discriminator, what it does? Discriminator is nothing but a differentiator. It will differentiate its angle. Okay. Here angle is Ns of T by AC. So angle it will be differentiated. That is called d phi of T by dt. What we have seen in our frequency demodulation. Okay. Now the output noise from the discriminator so we need to neglect the DC component, why this DC component is neglected, I will tell you. So it is ND of T is equals to alpha by AC d by dt whole into ns of t. Done. Now, here you can see that your noise, it depends upon ns of t cos omega ct minus ns of t sin omega ct. Now here why I have considered this one? Now in discriminator it will focus on a certain term, that is the value what we have took as g of t. Now g of t is alpha cos of omega ct plus ns of t by ac. Now since this angle is very small, this alpha came here, differentiate this angle. Okay, it will differentiate its angle. What is angle? Angle is derivative of ns of t by ac. That means here I am going, it is d phi of t by dt. So what is theta of t? It is ns of t. Take 1 by ac outside, you will get derivative of ns of t. So that will be the output of your discriminator. It will focus on this particular angle. And why is alpha is there? Alpha is due to the presence of the amplitude. Done. So this is my ND. Now since it is in time domain, I need to calculate the power. So what I will do, I will convert this one into a frequency domain, the power spectral density, identify the maximum value and then multiply with a certain bandwidth to it, so that the total noise power can be calculated for your output of your discriminator. Okay, so let me write a few steps, then I will explain. So it is input, or this one you can write in terms of power spectral density omega, it is equal to h of omega whole square SNS of omega. That means this is a system which is a derivative. Here theta t you are providing, that means noise component, here you are getting nd of t. Here you are providing ns of t in terms of this. So nd of t is equals to alpha by a c derivative of ns of t by dt. Okay. Now here you can see that this differentiator is nothing but a system, that is h of t I can write. But when you are writing in terms of frequency domain, the derivative is having a property, it will become as a j omega. Okay. So that I have written is noise of omega, spectral power spectral density for output noise is equals to h of omega whole square into input noise power spectral density. This relation comes under your Parseval's theorem, what you have read in your digital signal processing, what you are reading now. Even it is also discussed in your signal system also. So same relation I am using, it is a magnitude square. So I need to calculate these values. So first I need to calculate input noise power spectral density, that is Sn of omega is theta by 2. Then we need to calculate SNS of omega. SNS of omega is Sn of omega minus omega c, Ss of omega plus omega c. Because upper sideband and lower sideband both it will come into picture when it is modulated. Okay. Now in both the case it is theta by 2, it is also theta by 2, so total SNS of omega is theta. So this value is theta. Then I need to substitute in the Snd of omega, means output of a discriminator. The noise when it is enters to the discriminator and at the output is Sn d of omega. That is equals to alpha square divided by AC square omega square into theta. Now why I have written this one square? Because here it is h of omega is there. Okay. In this equation, if I will write in terms of h of omega, alpha by AC is a constant. Amplitude d by dt is represented as a j omega and ns of omega. Like this I can write. So it is alpha by AC j omega. So that is your h of omega. So that I have written. It is and ns of omega, and this is your Sn of omega. Sns of omega. Then so this particular relation, your h of omega will become j omega whole into alpha by AC. Done. So that I have derived from this particular value. H of t is nothing but this much. If you convert this one into frequency domain, you will get j omega, because d by dt is j omega. This is the DC component alpha into AC. So that is square term. So I have squared it, omega square, alpha square, a square. And what is your SL of S of omega? SNS of omega is theta. So I have substituted here. Done. Now output noise power. After LPF. Now this is the noise power, the output of frequency discriminator. Now after discriminator there is an LPF. So output of LPF you have to identify. So output of LPF is N0 squared whole bar is equals to 1 by 2 phi. Then SND of omega into d omega minus 2 pi b to 2 pi b. Since we have considered in terms of omega, I have to consider in terms of 2 pi f. That is minus omega to plus omega, which is equals to, if you solve this, you will get alpha square by AC square into eta minus omega to omega. It is omega square into omega, because this SND of omega is this much. The constant is alpha square a square eta. Only omega square is left. So here minus omega to omega. It is omega square into d omega. Now what is this value? This omega square value is omega cube. So omega cube divided by 3 it will come. So substitute here, and that is omega to omega means you have to substitute here value omega and minus omega. So it will become plus 2 omega. It will become 2 by 3 omega. So here you can determine, after taking square, it will become 8. Okay. So it is 8 by 3 pi square alpha square divided by AC square into eta into b cube. Okay. Either you can write in terms of omega, where omega is equals to 2 pi b. If you take the square cube of this, you will get 8 pi cube into b cube. So that I have written here. Done. So this is your output noise power, n square of output signal power is also done. Output noise power is also done. I need to divide with respect to signal to noise ratio. So let's see how this signal to noise ratio is calculated. So now output signal power, output signal from discriminator. Here we have calculated for noise. Now we have to calculate it for signal S naught. Okay. So that is y of t is equals to AC into omega c whole into 1 plus kf by omega c into m of t. So it is AC, or you can say it is alpha c, output of low pass filter, into omega c 1 plus kf m of t divided by omega c. Neglecting DC component, you will get y of t is equals to alpha into kf into m of t, and the power available in this alpha square kf square m square of t whole power. So this is your output signal power. This is your output noise power. How you have to divide this? So you will get your output signal to noise ratio. Only you need to follow these steps. So output SNR, output signal power is alpha square kf square m square of t whole bar whole divided by 8 by 3, it is pi square alpha square divided by AC square into eta into b cube. So when you substitute all these things, you will get 3AC square into kf square into m square of t whole bar whole divided by 8 pi square theta into b whole cube. So it is signal to noise ratio, it is 3AC square kf square m square of t whole divided by 8 pi square into eta into b whole cube. So this is my output SNR. Now figure of merit is what? Output SNR by input SNR. So that also you can calculate by dividing the input SNR what we have calculated earlier. So input SNR we have seen AC square divided by 2 eta into b. So your figure of merit is equals to 3AC square kf square m square of t whole bar divided by 8 pi square theta into b cube into, this is denominator, so it will become numerator divided by AC square. So this AC square will be cancelled out, eta will be cancelled out, b square and 2, this is 4. So here it is 3 by 4 whole into kf square m square of t whole bar divided by pi square into b square. Done. So this is my figure of merit for angle modulated signal. If you consider for FM or if you consider for PM, both are this much. Sum of the book, this whole term will be written as 3 by 4 gamma square. Remember this. Now here gamma is nothing but kf into m of t divided by pi into b. If gamma square. So this is your figure of merit for angle modulated signal. Okay. So this is the effect of noise. Next class we will discuss the comparison of AM with respect to angle modulated signal, and that will be figure of merit, how it is interrelated with each other, and also we will discuss what is the threshold effect. These two are left in our module 3. Then we will go for module 4. Module 4 and module 5 both are in the same part. It is only sampling, quantization sampling, how to calculate and how many type of quantizations are there, and these sort of things. Okay. So one more calculation I will do for you. Okay, this much is enough, because this much required for your examination. No more elaborative things I will discuss. Only this much we will discuss. Next class, what I have told, those things we will discuss. Thank you.